Hello there, welcome to Steven J. It's another video here, post Helen and Milton. How did I take so long? But I thought this thing a little different today. This is a project I've been working on for a while. I bought the parts separately and I thought maybe create something else out of it. But go ahead and stay tuned and I'll tell you more what this live stream video is about. Well, as you see here on the left is my Jensen I workshop. I've shown some video before, years in the past, running with my Franken Jensen that uses a copy of the Stuart D10 made in China. But this is real Jensen 100, and over here on the right is my Steam Jalopy. Say it jokingly and lovingly. The boiler over here and the motor bought off the eBay UK site, and the boiler I'm pretty confident in saying is a old Roundhouse boiler from the days when they had alcohol fire pot boilers. The fitting over here is their standard safety valve fitting, and on the back here you see there's the fitting here is 1/4 inch. On their old boilers, look from the 1980s and early 1990s, they had a 1/4 inch bushing on the back so you could have like an overflow type plug, which of course I used to put in a seam cross fitting so you could put a drain cock, the check valve, and a PM research whistle on top. I was originally going to use this as a boat motor for a steamboat, and then I bought that Wilesco power plant, and I decided to turn this into another stationary engine because that Jensen Franken is great, but it needs to be electrically heated. I could convert it to fuel fired, but I decided not to, and to build another plant instead. This is actually the second base it's on. The original base was all whiteboard, and this is actually from the board I used to board up my windows from Milton. So it's a good reuse of recycling, and those planters also, except for that really old one in the middle, were also used from the same whiteboard. But when I used the whiteboard here on the first base, it had warped, kind of bowed like severely, like this, like kind of like you. Can't quite make the shape out of my hand, but more like that. So what I did was I replaced the base. I put the boiler on top of walnut, which is only 1/4 inch thick, but it seems to help insulate the boiler a lot. And even beforehand, I did have this nice aluminum plate that I cut and put underneath the firebox in order to keep the heat insulated from the wood. And it actually didn't work quite the whole way. I had to cut a small piece of brass over here in the front. So the big one's aluminum, but the small one in the front's brass, but it would be hard to show in video. And over here on the front is the smokestack which I made, and that is a Roundhouse chimney cap I soldered onto this copper stack, and that's the drain for the condensed water. I didn't want to make a condenser because I'm lazy. I could admit to that, so instead I drilled that hole and let it drill out. I thought maybe I could just pull the exhaust line off there, that rubber line, let it drain, but when I first ran it without that hole, it just filled with water throughout the whole stack. I literally took my hand drill and drilled the hole, let it drain out. It was that bad. Anyhow, go ahead and run it for you, and let you see how it runs. I believe that's a Mamod marine engine, I'm not sure. I mentioned I bought that on eBay, and that lubricator actually came from the Franken Jensen. I bought a PM Research lubricator, but it being way too big, and this one it being right for this particular motor. It's a simple double-acting oscillator engine, very similar to what the Mamod or MSS locos use. It had 2 burners. I initially used this sterno burner, which I made. It's actually brass. I just didn't put it in acid bath to restore that brass look. I mean, it's just a burner, but you can see it. And I don't know what this is originally from, but I bought this on eBay too, in the UK site, and it does have a vent. So that is the vent inside the plug, and it's a 5-wick burner. I have it tipped forward, and when I do, it burns great. The fire has indeed been lit using the alcohol burner. The sterno doesn't get as hot. And it is 5-wick. I have it tilted up here laying on top of a wrench so that way it flows better. Something I discovered by accident. Just tilting it forward a little bit causes the alcohol to drain forward, so that way all 5 wicks get evenly lit instead of just a very low flame. It's quite a bit of a high flame. And I built the firebox. I don't know if I mentioned it in the previous segment, but as you can see here, it has a heat shield, which I built so that way the heat flows from down here up and around through here mostly. So it does get in the back and does heat up some of the fittings, but it's not enough that it damages them before I had to run this thing multiple times. As you can tell here by the pressure gauge, about 10 psi. Looks like the safety valve slow leaking. Should lift at 30, but the whistle's got plenty of water in there, but it still has plenty of steam also. Go ahead and drain a little bit out there. Check the pressure gauge, and it's filled up. It's almost 20. Let's go ahead and sorry about that. Let's go ahead and open it up. As you can see, it is slowly starting to run. Go ahead and put it in reverse. Put it forward again. Eventually it should self-start. There we go. There's the workshop being run there by the Steam Jalopy Mamod engine, or Mamod-like marine engine. And yeah, so those belts need to be replaced and work it out at the workshop, like especially the table saw. Take care in the near future. And thank you for watching. Let's go ahead and show you around more runs. That's forward, and that's reverse. You can also control the speed of the rotary valve. It slows down as it gets towards center, eventually stops. Let's go out of the way. And that's the condenser tray, and that's kicking out water underneath the board onto the concrete because it's raised up with little felt pads, just as it should.